It all started with a handshake in 2005. This was not a normal business deal. Deep inside Apple, a secret team worked on a project called Project Purple. They were building a phone that would change everything. The team was small, their ambition was huge. They needed a partner who could build components that no one else could. Steve Jobs, Apple's co-founder, knew where to look. He looked to Samsung, a South Korean giant. Samsung made the world's best flash memory. They also had the most advanced chip factories. The two companies decided to work together, a choice that would define the next 2 decades of technology. The tension was immediate and palpable. Samsung was more than just a parts supplier. It was also a competitor. Samsung made its own phones. Samsung made its own televisions. Samsung made its own computers. By working with Apple, Samsung's engineers got a front-row seat to the future of mobile technology. They saw Apple's obsession with detail. They learned about its software-first approach. They understood the power of a simple, elegant user interface. This knowledge was priceless. For Apple, the pact was a calculated gamble. It bet that its vision and speed would keep it ahead of anyone who tried to copy it, even a partner as powerful as Samsung. This secret alliance was the quiet beginning of a loud war. The collaboration was a paradox. Apple, the master of design and secrecy, had to trust Samsung, the master of manufacturing and scale. One company dreamed up the device, the other brought it to life, piece by piece. The APL-0898 chip was the first fruit of this strange partnership. It was a marvel of engineering that would power a revolution. But it was also a seed of conflict. The APL-0898 chip was the heart of the first iPhone. Think of it as the device's central nervous system. It was not just a single processor. It was a system on a chip, or SoC. This means it bundled many different jobs into one tiny piece of silicon. The chip handled everything from running applications, processing touch inputs, managing the battery. It was designed by Apple, but manufactured by Samsung. This arrangement was crucial. Apple's engineers focused on what the chip should do, while Samsung's factories focused on how to produce it efficiently in massive quantities. The result was a component that was both powerful, power efficient. A key to the iPhone's success. Samsung's role was more than just following instructions. Building such a complex chip required immense expertise. Samsung had to perfect its manufacturing processes to create chips that were small, fast, reliable. Every time Apple ordered a new batch, Samsung's engineers learned more about the intricate dance between hardware and software. They saw how Apple prioritized a smooth user experience over raw processing power. They understood the importance of keeping power consumption low to ensure the phone could last a full day. Samsung was getting paid to learn from the best. When Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone in January 2007, the world was stunned. Samsung executives had flown to the presentation. They watched Jobs demonstrate the fluid, touch-based interface. They saw the elegant hardware. They realized instantly their products were obsolete. Side by side, early Samsung with a physical keyboard and the first iPhone with its single home button. An internal Samsung report later called it a crisis of design. Their phones were packed with features, but clumsy to use. Small screens, plastic buttons, complicated software. The iPhone was the opposite. Simple, beautiful, intuitive. The threat was existential. The simmering conflict exploded into open warfare in 2011. Apple filed a massive lawsuit against Samsung in a California federal court. The accusation was blunt and devastating. Apple claimed that Samsung had slavishly copied the design of the iPhone and iPad. This wasn't a typical patent fight about one technical part. This was a battle over the very look and feel of a product. Apple argued its iconic design elements were part of its trade dress. Rectangular shape with rounded corners, black glass face, grid of icons on the screen. That meant the design itself was a recognizable brand, like a logo. The trial was a spectacle. Lawyers for both companies presented dramatic evidence to the jury. Apple showed internal Samsung documents comparing their phones to the iPhone. The documents highlighted the similarities. Apple wanted to prove Samsung's copying was intentional. Samsung's lawyers fought back with a creative defense. They argued Apple's designs were not unique. They scoured history for prior art, any similar design before the iPhone. They even cited the film 2001, A Space Odyssey, which showed a tablet-like device. In August 2012, the jury delivered a stunning verdict. They sided overwhelmingly with Apple. They found Samsung had infringed several Apple patents. They also found Samsung had diluted Apple's trade dress. The jury awarded Apple over $1,050 million in damages. Damages were later reduced and some rulings overturned. The fight became a war of attrition and sparked a global conversation about inspiration versus imitation. Beaten in the courtroom, Samsung took the fight to the court of public opinion, launched a brilliant, aggressive marketing campaign. The ads were bold and confrontational. They targeted Apple's loyal fans, mocked them for waiting in long lines for phones missing features. Tagline: "The next big thing is already here." Ads showed iPhone users as uncool and behind the times, Galaxy users as smart and savvy. The strategy worked. It repositioned Samsung as an innovator, their most powerful counterpunch, a product. In 2011, Samsung launched the first Galaxy Note. It was enormous for its time, a massive 5.3-inch screen. It came with a stylus. Critics ridiculed it. They called it a phablet. Some joked holding it to your ear was like talking into a piece of toast. Samsung had identified a real unmet need. Many users loved the huge screen. Better for watching videos, better for browsing the web, better for getting work done. The phablet became a sensation. The Galaxy Note's success forced Apple to react. Steve Jobs had insisted smaller was best for one-handed use. Apple's ads even showed thumb reach. But the market sent a different signal. Consumers voted with their wallets for bigger phones. In 2014, Apple released the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. A clear admission Samsung had been right. Samsung proved it could innovate by focusing on hardware features like screen size, removable batteries, expandable storage. Samsung carved a distinct identity, the champion of choice and customization. In 2016, Samsung was at the height of its power. The Galaxy Note line was a massive success, and the company was ready to launch its most advanced phone yet, the Galaxy Note 7. The device received rave reviews. It had a beautiful curved screen, a powerful processor, and an iris scanner for security. It was hailed as the best smartphone ever made. But disaster struck just weeks after the launch. Reports began to surface of phones overheating, smoking, and even catching fire. The problem was the battery. A tiny flaw in the battery's design and manufacturing process caused it to short circuit, leading to catastrophic failures. The crisis escalated quickly. Airlines banned the device from flights. Videos of burning phones went viral. Samsung was forced to issue a global recall of 2.5 million devices. It was a logistical nightmare and a PR catastrophe. The company tried to fix the problem by issuing replacement phones with batteries from a different supplier, but those devices began to catch fire as well. In the end, Samsung had no choice but to permanently discontinue the product. The total cost of the recall was estimated to be a staggering $5.3 billion. More damaging was the blow to Samsung's reputation for quality and safety. The Note 7 debacle was a humbling moment. Samsung launched a massive investigation and implemented a rigorous 8-point battery safety check. The incident served as a painful lesson about the risks of moving too fast. Even the world's largest manufacturer was not immune to catastrophic mistakes. Yet, in a remarkable twist of irony, Apple needed Samsung more than ever. The battlefield has shifted once again. Today, the war between Apple and Samsung is no longer just about the phone in your pocket. The hardware has become so good on both sides that the differences are minor. The new frontier is about intelligence. The new frontier is about software. The new frontier is about ecosystems. The ultimate prize is not selling one more device, but controlling the user's entire digital life. It is a battle for user intent. The ability to anticipate what you want to do next and seamlessly provide the service to do it. This is a more subtle and complex competition, fought with data, fought with algorithms, fought with artificial intelligence. Both companies are building out their ecosystems to lock users in. When you buy an iPhone, you are encouraged to buy an Apple Watch, AirPods, and a MacBook. Everything works together effortlessly. Samsung is doing the same with its Galaxy Phone, Galaxy Buds, Galaxy Watch. The goal is to create a walled garden where leaving is inconvenient. This strategy transforms a one-time product sale into a long-term relationship. The war is no longer device versus device, but ecosystem versus ecosystem. It is a fight to become the central hub for your entertainment, your health, your communication, and your home. In early 2024, Samsung launched Galaxy AI. It can translate phone calls in real time, summarize notes, and edit photos with a simple command. It was a major push to make the phone a proactive assistant. This is the future of the smartphone. The rivalry that started with a chip, escalated to the courtroom, has now moved into the cloud. It is a competition over who can better understand and serve human habits. The lessons learned over the past 2 decades are being applied to this new frontier. Apple continues to focus on a polished, private, integrated experience. Samsung continues to innovate with open platforms and powerful hardware features. They still depend on each other for critical components, and they still push each other to be better. The Cold War that shaped the mobile world is now defining the age of artificial intelligence. A clear lesson emerges. Intense rivalry is a powerful engine for progress, but interdependence is an inescapable reality. Companies must learn to compete fiercely while cooperating carefully, the fragile, difficult, productive balance that defines our connected world.